IPMNation.com.
All natural being. Warning, all natural being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome to All Natural Being. It's Brian, fired up to be hanging out with you once again this week, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, then again at 5 and 8 p.m. Eastern for the rebroadcast. Oh, and 7 a.m. in the morning, we'll be doing the rebroadcast of the day before as well. Hope you had an absolutely fantastic weekend. I want to thank you. We're coming up on our 100th episode this week. 100th episode later this week. And we continue, since April Fool's Day, April 1st, earlier this year, we continue to be the number one show on IPM Nation. And I think, as you know, if you're brand new, then you will know very shortly, if you're brand new to our show, I think we're the number one show because this is a show about you. The all-natural you. So 5 days a week, what I try to do is blend ancient wisdom with modern science. Want to find the two. We talk all the time about dovetailing our heart and our head. What I like to do is dovetail modern science with ancient wisdom. Figure out, kind of sift through 3,000 years of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding, and then see what modern science can tell us about those same things. So ancient wisdom, modern science, blend of the two. It's what led me to uncovering the concept of all natural being. It's what led me to uncovering my belief that everything you've ever needed, you've always had. Always. No more running around, no more looking, no more begging, no more searching, no more groveling. You already have it. It's already within you. And that's why I'm fired up to be here 5 days a week. Like your tag team partner. Like I'm ready to pass the baton so that you can, right after the show, you can hit the ground running. You can't help but use an Olympic metaphor. Number of times I was watching the recap last evening. So you have different announcers for different sports. But it fascinated me the number of times the different announcers in this pre-produced clip. Right, so it's not like they all got together and go, oh, let's use this one term. Let's all say this. The ratings are in the toilet for NBC, so let's see if we can bump it up for this last show. Let's all say the same thing. Didn't happen that way. They pre-produced these things, so every announcer is like, oh, here's what I feel in my gut. And what fascinated me is the number of times that they said, this Olympic athlete, male or female, regardless of where they were from, regardless of their sport, regardless of their age, what do they say? This athlete, this sport, this Olympic venue, this was their destiny. If I had $1 for every time I heard the word destiny last night, I'd have a lot of dollars. Their destiny. And that's what thrills me all the time about watching the Olympics. Well, I'm thrilled for the athletes, obviously. Congratulations to all of them. But you know why else I'm thrilled? Because I think you have a destiny as well. That these, am I allowed to say guys and gals, guys and girls, men and women, that's it, guys and ladies, however it is. All the trolls ready. Oh, Brian's a mansplainer. Oh, hey, someone let me out of my mom's basement. What fires me up about the Olympics is that it should kind of like be a wake-up call to all of us that we have our own all-natural being encoded within us. If they can do it, we can do it. Now, that doesn't mean you and I are going to start taking up the 100 or the 200, and we're going to go in 4 years and beat Bolt. But what it means is in our own unique way, in our own brand, as I said this morning over on Facebook. Well, we gotta let your unique brand of crazy out. So there's a balance. I would just like that balance to be 99.9% to 1. Instead of being engulfed by all the bat crap craziness in your life, we're here because your life depends on you letting out your unique brand of crazy, of channeling your all-natural being. Because I think the universe put you here, and it's betting on you. It's betting on you to release your unique brand of crazy. So let's jump. We got a couple of them. You know how it is over the weekend with me. I have these different ideas. I've been putting some stuff up on Twitter just so like I can vent it and not leave it over on Facebook. So Twitter becomes like my philosophical dustbin where I come up with these ideas and I send them over to Twitter at Brian Brawdy. I send them over to there just because who knows? As I say all the time, you can't spell Brian without the I in idiot. So when I'm busy channeling my own unique brand of crazy, I send it over to Twitter from time to time, not to bug everybody over on Facebook. So that happens over the weekend, right, where it's just like, there is no way I'm waiting till Monday to get this out of my system. So we've got a couple of different of anaerobic aphorisms to look at this morning. Let's start with the one, and then I've got to get to a whole list of thank yous. Oh, I should let you know 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. Or SOUL. Send me a text. I'll go ahead and try to incorporate it into the show right away this morning because we are live this morning. Go ahead, send me a text. Also, reach out, allnaturalbeing.com or brianbrawdy.com. Send me an email. I'll send you one of mine back. We can hook up that way. And, of course, our numbers are through the roof over on Facebook. So if you want to join in with the rest of the kindred interested in channeling their all-natural being, come on by. Brian Brawdy Official. Brian Brawdy Official is the name of that Facebook page. Go ahead. We can hook up over that way as well. All right. So what I wanted to call to your attention was an anaerobic aphorism, so to speak, that I put up earlier this weekend because it is my absolute, if everyone says, well, if you can only pick one belief, you're full of hot air. If you could only pick one belief, if you could only say one thing, if on your deathbed you were like, oh, or I had a dream a couple different times about my epitaph. Like, what would I ask to have chisel? And I be honest with you, I don't plan to have a tombstone. I think I don't plan on having a tombstone. So I don't know why the dream of the epitaph, but you run with whatever the subconscious throws up. That's all I'm saying. So I had to think, given to this, with over 30 years of investigating now. Yeah, over 30 years of bringing the only formal education I have, as you know, which is an investigator, a cop. Let's get to the scene of the crime, figure out who the bad guy or the bad girl was. So after 30 years of investigation, what's that one sentence that I would leave? What will I say to my kids before I tap out, before I go home? And that one sentence was the anaerobic aphorism that I put up on the 20th, which I made that Saturday. When you change the way you view life, life changes the way it views you. It really is that symbiotic. When you remember who you are, where you are, and what you plan on doing about it, universe goes, whoa, she's on to us. She's figured out the gig. This is going to be a show to watch. When you remember that you're the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild of the divine, that you're dropped in the labyrinth of life, the garden of the mortals, and you decide one morning, you wake up, whatever morning that is, what any stage of your life that is, you wake up and go, this is exactly what I plan to do about it. I know who I am, I know where I am, and I'm bringing my all-natural resources to the game. And when you do that, when you change the way you view life, life changes the way it views you. And that was our anaerobic aphorism for Saturday. Now, for today, and what I want to focus on for the show. When the realists are wrong, it's the delusional among us that rule the day. All the realists, everyone's certain. Oh, life doesn't work that way. Here's how it works. Absolutely certain. But when they're wrong, And they're proven to be wrong. It's the delusional among us that rule the day. And that's why I said in the tease, we got to learn how to get your crazy back. It's time to be delusional, especially when everyone around you says, you'll never be successful, you'll never be happy, you'll never be loved, you're never going to make it, you better just dovetail with the herd, with the hive mind. It's time for you and I to beat that back, channeling our own sense of delusion. Because when the realists are wrong, then the delusional, like you and me, the kindred, those busy channeling their all-natural being, when all the experts, when all the walking, talking pits of quicksand, the Venus flytraps, the meandering Venus flytraps in your life, when they're all proven to be wrong, then we got to be opposite of that. We have to be delusional if we expect to run the board, run the game here in the labyrinth of life. If we expect to manifest everything that is our destiny here in the garden of the mortals, we got to be delusional. Think about it for just a second. Why I'm always slamming the static quo. Because the static quo wants you to play it a certain way. Doesn't want you being delusional. Doesn't want you being crazy. It's got its own form of craziness.
Hey, if you'd like to be crazy, sign here. We've got some crazy for you. Oh, wow, that just sounds fantastic. What do I get? Is there like a membership badge? Do I get a card that I can show at the mall?
We're not talking about that kind of crazy. We're talking about the unique blend that is you. We don't see Simone Biles pole vaulting, although I suspect she probably could. We don't see Usain Bolt in the pool. We don't see Michael Phelps on the track. They're taking their unique blend, their own inner craziness, their unique blend of DNA, and they're rocking the world. Which is why I say all the time, you are a rare breed. If you're fired up about channeling your all-natural being, you are a rare breed. You are an elite.
People say, oh, I don't like that term, elite mindfulness. Sounds like you're better than everybody.
Well, we are better than everybody. If we're here to use our human mind, and we choose to optimize it to our full potential. Other people choosing to sit around and be couch potatoes. I'm supposed to feel sorry for them? No. At some stage in their life, it is my hope that they channel their all-natural being. But other than that, we're too busy working with the kindred. We're too busy saying, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our natural resources that were granted to us. Big Bang or Big Breath. Evolution or Elohim. Garden of Eden or the savannas of Africa. Don't care. You should. I don't. I do in my own life. But what you believe is none of my business, nor is it anyone else's business. I go back all the time. Why did Buddha sit under a tree? Why did Jesus say, oh, you should go into your room, shut the door? What? Oh, and people say,
oh, well, that was just a slogan. If, that was a bumper sticker he was passing around.
Oh, yeah, really? Then why is it on the evening, right before they're getting ready to cap him, he goes into the garden? What does he do? Says to his entourage, his bodyguards, his disciples, what does he say? No, you guys wait here. I'm going to head in by myself. Jesus knew. Buddha knew. They knew. Outside of the conjecture and opinion of everyone swirling around us, they had their own unique brand of crazy. And they were going to channel it and save the world. They didn't do it like everybody else. They heard that still small voice. They heard that whisper. They were the rock stars of their day. They worked the red carpet. They were a part of the kindred. They were unique. They were a rare breed, as are you. As are all of us. For those opting not to tap into all-natural being, all we can attempt to do is say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's your all-natural being. You decide not to use it, God love you. Fantastic. And apparently, your calling in life is not your calling in life. But for those of you that are ready to be thankful for the gift of a human mind, the debate between the saffron robes and the white coats, who cares? The debate between science and religion, who cares? We're given a human mind, an all-natural being. And when you watch the Olympics, you can't help but sense that they're channeling theirs. Look at Katie Ledecky. Look, even everyone's saying now, Simone, I watched her during the gymnastics. Just unbelievable. But so are the natural resources encoded with you. They may be dormant, but they're not dead. It's your sense of amnesia. It's the blind spots that block you from who you ultimately are, from recalling who you ultimately are. That's the confusion. That's the fog. There's nothing to get. Everything you've ever needed, you've always had. Nothing to get. It's already in you. It's in you. Just have to tap in. And maybe that requires us to be a bit delusional. Everybody in the crowd is going one way. You and I decide to head in the other direction. What did Thoreau say about listening to the beat of a distant drummer? Then maybe you and I need to be a little delusional. Because the biggest badasses in human history always have been. You know, it was kind of just ricocheting around in my mind all weekend. One of those thoughts that you don't try to meditate away. One of those thoughts when it comes to mindfulness, you go, no, I like it keep popping back up from time to time. You want to know what the question was? Two-part. We know about the words of the Buddha. We know about the words of Jesus because of what other people said they said. But did you ever wonder if Jesus kept a journal, what would he have written in it? If Buddha had the ability to record a little, an auditory, an audible message to himself in a cell phone, what would they have written down? What would they have recorded? And I guarantee it would have pertained to their connection within the all-natural being. Three 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
IPMNation.com.
IPMNation.com. Independent, provocative, mobile. Just like our minds should be. All right, send me a text, 331-684-7685. Thanks for the one I just got. Yeah, I'm in a great mood today. This is a fantastic time. So before we get to a list of some of the people that I want to thank, let's go back over one more time. When you view life differently, life views you differently. And if that sounds like crazy talk, great. Because when the realists are wrong, and they are, there is more to this life than they could possibly imagine or possibly choose to imagine. When the realists are wrong, it's the delusional among us. It's you and me that will rule the day. All right, I want to head over to IPM Nations, and we just mentioned it, and thank some people as we like to try to do on the Monday versions of our show. Thank those people and those cities Top 10 cities, listeners. Good people in Manchester, New Hampshire. Boston, Massachusetts. New York, New York. Chicago, Illinois. Just a little bit to the east of me here. Greenville, North Carolina. Got some great friends down there. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Laconia, New Hampshire. Atlanta, Georgia. I know exactly who some of those people are. Putting in the numbers from Atlanta, Georgia. Concord, New Hampshire. And, of course, Cleveland, Ohio. Hello to everyone in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, so this morning, going to jump into some pretty cool things, I think. But someone asked me over the weekend, well, what do you hope to do? Right? They want to know, like, when it comes to all natural being, like, what's the premise? I think to myself, all right, just because it's something that's clear in my mind doesn't mean that it's clear in everyone else's mind. So all natural being for me, what I hope to accomplish each day, all natural being for me is like a front end wheel alignment, or back end wheel alignment for that matter. When you take your car in to have your wheels aligned, and you go, all right, well, I hit a couple potholes, some tough roads. And they say you should have your wheels aligned every 6,000 miles. I believe it is. Every 6,000 miles. You go in, you say, okay, how is it tracking? What's it, how is the car operating? Is it pulling to the left? Is it wearing the tires one side or another? Because that could be expensive after a while. But even if you think about it, you take your hand off the steering wheel and the vehicle goes to the left or it goes to the right. Or you look at your tires when you go to put some air in, you go, wow, they're kind of bald on this side, but not on that side. What's up with that? Well, what's up with that? You need a wheel alignment. They talk about all kinds of things. Steering, axis, inclination. They talk about the angles. They talk about the cant and camber, the wheelbase difference, front end height, all the rest of that, frame angle. But every so often we need our wheels aligned. If we're going to get everything out of our vehicle, if the ride is supposed to be what it's supposed to be, only way we get that, take full advantage of the vehicle that we have, is we do a wheel alignment. So for me, all natural being is a lot like that wheel alignment. It's where you and I have an opportunity to return ourselves to factory status, let's say, right? We come from the factory, we come from the universe, all natural being. It's our chance to realign our thoughts every 6,000 miles, realign our thoughts in such a way that it's a smooth ride, that we can handle whatever the road throws at us, that if we take our hands off the wheel, we're not, veering off left or right into the ditch. Tires aren't worn on one side, which just basically means that's the stress that's put on the tire. Well, when you come to think about vehicle alignment, tire alignment, and all natural being, what kind of stress are you, philosophically, are you running around with some bald tires? That's the question. So, all natural being really is just a maintenance program. It just returns us to our original factory settings. And that's all I want. Because there's potholes in life. You hit a curb or two. At least if you're me. You hit a curb or two. Some other things go on. How about you? Do you need to have an alignment from time to time? I think that's what we do every morning when we get up. Getting a text that the signal may be cutting in and out again. We got great weather here today, so I don't know why that would be. But let me check a couple things here. Check this here. Check this there. All right, so I think we're good. At least we're good from this end, so please continue 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. If it skips in and out, please text me back and let me know. We're talking about how all natural being is just like a front-end alignment for your car. Every so often, you want to get back to the factory settings. Perfect when it arrived. Able of handling the road without pulling from one side. Just keeping true, keeping in a straight line. And you and I know that we need perfect alignment to handle the labyrinth of life, handle whatever goes down in the garden of the mortals. So that's what our show is like. It's a front end alignment. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. How much longer will you let them hijack your head and your heart?
How much longer? Because here's the deal. All we're talking about in All Natural Being, thank you very much for the text, is a tune-up. It's a tune-up for your core. It's really a tune-up for everything around your core as well. Just a tune-up. So I'm fired up to be here 5 days a week, to be a part. Thank you so much for having me as a part of your tune-up. Because that's my passion in life, is simply to remind you of who you already are. We talk about the philosophical loofah. We talk about the pumice stone. We talk about those other things. I just want all the bubble wrap gone. I want all the minutia. I want all the bat crap crazy gone out of your life so we can channel your unique brand of crazy, so that you can bring your own bowl, that you can bring your A game like everyone in the Olympics did. Bringing your A game. And maybe you do it as an artist, maybe you do it as an athlete, maybe you do it as a parent, maybe you do it as an entrepreneur. It's up to you. But when we bring ourselves in for a tune-up, we get the vehicle back and everything runs just perfectly. That's what I want this show to be for the kindred. Now, we've said before, this show isn't for everyone. There are plenty of people, cognitive couch potatoes, that's where they want to stick. God love them. But for those of us that want the absolute best out of ourselves, which technically guarantees getting the best out of life. It's not as if you can get the best out of life with getting the mediocrity out of your own core, out of your own soul. You got to bring your best. We said earlier that when you change the way you view life, life views the way it changes you. So when you bring your best, the universe answers with best, which is why it's always been tough for me. I say all the time, don't get burned by the secret. Everyone, this conversation about manifestation, and if you just beg, and if you just pray, and if you just long. Well, it's been my experience in all these years of studying it. If you look almost, let me just throw out the term, it's because it popped to mind, it's the transactional interpretation of quantum physics. And for me, I think when you throw longing out to the universe, it says, oh great, we got an order for longing. Let's give more to long for. It's never enough. It never ends. Always a carrot at the end of the stick. But when you throw out gratitude to the universe, when you throw out contentedness in this particular moment in all of time, when you throw out reverence, compassion for yourself, understanding of blending your mind with the labyrinth, when you throw out that gratitude, that's what the universe responds back in. So everyone busy running around, as I say, don't get burned. Oh, well, one day I'll pray for this, I'll long for this, I'll hope for this. As Carl Sandburg, the poet, says, hope, it is an echo. It ties you yonder, yonder, no more yonder. How about here, right now? What's under our feet? And when you're thankful for that, the universe goes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to send them more to be thankful for. So you hear this law of attraction. Huge fan. Law of attraction. What they don't tell you in the fine print is that you attract what you are. If you feel empty, you get more emptiness. If you feel fulfilled, you get more fulfillment. That's the dirty little secret about the secret. They don't want you to know that. Dirty little secret. Law of attraction works, but not in the way they want you to believe. Law of attraction doesn't listen to our puny little ideas, fill in the blanks. Oh, I'd like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, please. The law of attraction, at its core, is that it greets a vacuum with more of a vacuum. It creates gratitude with more things to be grateful for. And as I say all the time, don't take my word for it. As the Buddha is quoted as saying, and I'm sure if he had written a journal, would have written this down in his journal, said, hey, don't take my word for it. Practice this yourself. No matter what opinion you get, no matter how much you dig the person giving you that opinion, no matter what a rock star you think they are, always take that opinion and adopt it momentarily for yourself. All I'd ask is to try this for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, we talk about 20-minute victories all the time. For just 20 minutes, 1/72nd of your day, what if you decided no more longing? I mean, it just causes a boatload of stress and fatigue to not be happy where we are right now in this moment, but constantly be begging the universe, God, however you define it, treating him or her like a giant ATM, a short order cook. Here's what I want. Like a big mail order catalog.
Oh, I'd like this, and I'd like this, and I'd like a couple scoops of this.
But for just 20 minutes, go. Thanks for the ride. Thanks for putting me here. When I say all the time that gratitude is the grease of the human mind, it's because in fact it is. And anyone that tells you it isn't, those are the realists that are wrong. Because when we're thankful, the universe gives you more to be thankful for. When you're ungrateful, the universe matches you in kind. That's the law of attraction. That's why, and I get a lot of hate mail. All these people, oh, well, the secret, no, I'm going to keep picturing $1 million and it will come to me. You ever get these things on Facebook? People go, oh, if you're like a, what's it called? A chain letter. It used to be chain letters. Now it's on Facebook. Oh, send this and you'll have $1 million. Well, what if you already feel like the richest person in the world? What could riches do to that? If you're already thankful that you're here, if you're already grateful for being able to stand, square your shoulders with fate for the next 20 minutes and go, that's it, bring it. I found it fascinating. They were talking about the women's 4x100 relay in the Olympics, the U.S. women's team. And they were temporarily disqualified because the baton got knocked out of one of the athletes' hands. So they said, okay, great. We have everyone else. They're already in the books. We're not going to rerun the whole race, but we'll let you rerun just you all, the four of you, on the track. You're in, I think it was lane 2. So no one in lane 1, no one in lanes 3 through 8, just you. And to an athlete, all four interviewed going, it was just kind of freaky not having fate right next to me, not having the competition alongside of me, not having the stone to sharpen my sword on, not having fate closing in on me, the speed of the other runners. They said it was a little freaky. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to push myself. Now, they did, and I think, if I remember correctly, they ended up winning the gold, going from being disqualified because they dropped a baton to winning the gold. But in that moment, they were like, I don't know. Maybe we won't. How will we know to push ourselves if we didn't have fate staring us in the fate? Well, why can't you and I look at our challenges the same way? Why can't you and I look at those challenges? Why can't we go, okay, I got someone in lane 1, I got someone in lanes 3 through 8, I've got some hurdles, I've got some other things. Why can't we look at our challenges in life? Thank you very much. Just told they won the gold. I thought I saw that afterwards. To be honest with you, I fell asleep. I'm an old guy. I don't make it up that late at night anymore. That's what happens when you get up every morning as early as I do. People are like, oh, sun's going down. So's Brian. But they were freaked because their normal challenges, the fate that they always push themselves against, wasn't on the track with them. How about for you and I? We could look at our challenges, our hurdles, our potholes, those things that knock our front end out of alignment, those things that cause us to have to go in for a tune-up. Maybe we should view it the same way. And if you look at people, say, in the decathlon, Or you look at people in swimming. Would people swim as fast if they weren't worried about all the other competitors swimming against them? Well, that could be you and me. Let's let our competitors come. Let's let fate come. Nothing to be scared of. Nothing for us to be afraid of. Let fate come. You and I can square our shoulders and just hit it, knowing that we have a destiny and that fate, in some ways you can look, even though its ability is to derail us. You can't tell me that the runners in lane 1 and lane 3 were just going to let the Olympic team, our athletes, we're just going to let them win. It's their job to knock them off. Well, that's a lot like fate. But you and I don't have to cave. We don't have to give in. We bring our own bold. We square our shoulders and go, no matter what the day brings, we're going to nail it. It's plain and simple. All right, we'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. How much longer will you let them hijack your head and your heart?
All right, how much longer are we going to let them hijack our heads and our hearts? That's the question that we ask at the bottom of every hour. Because if the people hijacking our heads are the realists that are wrong, then the craziness in our heart, that's what we got to go for. That's what we got to do. Have ourselves aligned, and we do that alignment with gratitude. What are the tools? If you go in and you put your car up on a rack and there's all kinds of state-of-the-art stuff to check the alignment, I guess, these days. I've never done it. There's a video you could probably find how to align your own wheels. I'm not that mechanically inclined. But for you and I, if you're not mechanically inclined, that alignment is gratitude. And when we align ourselves with that gratitude, then what can derail us? We get up every morning going, thank you for leaving me here another day. Thank you that the sun came up. Thank you. And then you make a laundry list of things. You know what I mean? Maybe you could get up every day and go, all right, I'm going to steal Dave Letterman's thunder. What's your top 10 list? Top 10 things that you're thankful for. And stick with it until you nail those top 10 things. What's the top 10 things? Now, they don't have to be massive. You might go, oh, I'm thankful to be able to count to 10. It could be our little things in life. But even if they're little things, you and I are still here to enjoy them. You get up any morning, look at the news, look at the number of people that were either killed, passed away, they went home one way or another. Look at those numbers. Every single night, day, in another part of the world. That you and I are still here, that's something to be grateful for. That we still have the little things in life to be fired up about. So I want to talk about being my days of being a drug addict. I think that people say all the time, oh, no, not that kind of drug addict in law enforcement. Although I could see where people would go with that. When people talk, oh, so now you're going to tell us you used to be a drug addict? Well, I still am. But I found a great article that talks about the neurochemicals of happiness. And it talks about these 7 brain molecules that make you feel great. So, in essence, channeling my all-natural being, employing the 20-second victory and the 20-minute victory that you and I speak about every day. I'm a drug addict. I'm addicted to those all-natural neurochemicals. So I thought maybe we could look at those. Maybe you could take a hit yourself. The bliss molecule. That was one that I thought that was pretty cool. Come from the Sanskrit word ananda, meaning bliss. Another chemical, if you will, dopamine, which the article calls, and I should give this guy credit because this is amazing. He's an amazing athlete as well. Christopher Berglund, The Athlete's Way, The articles from Psychology Today is entitled 7 Brain Molecules That Will Make You Feel Great. Number 2 is dopamine, the reward molecule. Quote, dopamine is responsible for reward-driven behavior and pleasure-seeking. Every type of reward-seeking behavior that has been studied increases the level of dopamine transmission in the brain. Now, let's go slowly into this. If you want to get a hit of dopamine, set a goal and achieve it. End quote. Okay, but for you and I, we're not setting goals that are carrots on the end of the stick. The goal is to remain in this moment. So, right, if we have to be goal junkies, the goal is to mine the gold of this moment. I dare say there's not a lot of Olympic athletes that are in the middle of the competition. Their mind is picturing what it's going to be like to be on the stanza, on the riser, on the platform with a gold medal. They're focused in the moment, this instant in all of time. So if you and I want to hit a dopamine, let's have a goal of sticking with our 20-second victory. Breathe in. Exhale fully. If it takes you 6, 7 seconds to exhale, great. Breathe in. Exhale. Exhale like you mean it. And scan your horizon and take action. That can be a goal. And the achievement of that goal, in and of itself, releases dopamine. So you want to be a drug addict like me? Have a goal of hanging out in the moment. Oxytocin is another one. He calls this the bonding molecule. Oxytocin is a hormone directly linked to human bonding and increasing trust and loyalty. In some studies, high levels of this molecule have been correlated with romantic attachment. It's the bonding molecule. But you might even have some of this with a pet. You have a dog, a cat, a friend. Have a friend, coworker, someone you know. Shake someone's hand. Even shaking the hand of a complete stranger. Opening the door for someone. Smiling. That sense of bonding, the bonding molecule. It says that in 2003 there was a study. Oxytocin levels rose in both the dog and the owner after they spent some time cuddling. I'm sure if you have a cat, I don't know about fish, maybe a lizard, a parrot, hamster, if you could have some time. Just bond. But that bond, we could bond with other human beings. Give someone a hug. Open the door. Say hello. Smile. Thank them. That's why I love being at a checkout counter. I never use these. I should say seldom use. And even then, to be honest with you, between you and me, I always fake like I'm doing it wrong so the attendant has to come up and help me. That's why I argue with flight attendants all the time. Oh, sir, could you please use the kiosk? No, I don't think I will. I think I'd rather have you help me. Why? Because I can't figure out the keys on a kiosk? No, I like the interaction. I'm a drug addict. Are you listening? Hello? Is this thing on? Oh, another one of my favorite drugs? Endorphins. The pain-killing molecule. The name endorphin translates into self-produced morphine. Well, give me a hit. Quote, endorphins resemble opiates in their chemical structure and have pain-relieving properties. Endorphins are produced in the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus during strenuous physical exertion. Endorphins. This is why I talk about, they call it, the runner's high or the like. But you and I could do a walking meditation. You ever go outside just to get some fresh air? Increase your pace a little. I'm not saying being a little bit. Look, chances are pretty good if you're listening. You and I are never going to beat Usain Bolt. Just not going to happen. Never going to beat Michael Phelps in the pool. I don't even think I could. I don't think I could be lowered on a balance beam and take 2 steps without falling off. But that doesn't mean you and I can't get out there and just teeny tiny, maybe take like 1 flight of steps. Maybe. Oh, here's another. I got to tell you this story. I don't want to run out of time, so I can stay focused. I need Sue to text me and go, Brian, pay attention. So if you hear the phone ring, it'll be my friend Sue going, come on, let's stay focused. But yesterday, I was over at the store, and I'm driving in, and I always like to park pretty much far away, right? Just because I just do, which is I like to get the fresh air. I like to be out and about, walking around. Get your head in the game. Thank you, Sue, very much. 331-684-7685. So I'm getting ready to park, and I see this car like close in with their turn signal on, and they're waiting, and cars are backed up behind them. Now, cars are trying to pass them, so I can't move down. You know, the little aisle when you go to park, I can't move around because this person is waiting. Oh, you're not just kidding. Don't say just kidding. 331-684-7685. My head is in the game. I know what I'm talking about now. So I have to wait. So all the cars are passing her on the left so that she can get a spot right up front. Got to have that spot right up front. That's a beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. Or, you know how people say, not a cloud in the sky, not a rain cloud in the sky, just enough clouds to make the sun as it starts to set look spectacular. So I finally wait. Come around. So I finally let everybody pass, and I go on my way. And I just happen to look in the rearview mirror. Someone steals the space from her. Someone comes in and makes a left-hand turn right in front of her, so I just kind of chuckle. But I park the car, and I get out, and I just out of the corner of my eye, I see where they park. Well, they're like 18 or 19 years old. Two people in the car, 18 or 19. At 18 and 19, you're already trying to find the shortest distance between 2 points? I expected it to be someone with a handicap sticker on their vehicle. Or an old guy like me, 18, 9, couldn't have been 20. No way. These two people were 20 years old. And they've already grooved.
Oh, I got to get that spot right up front. There's no way.
And I'd rather sit here for 10 minutes with my turn signal on, waiting for this person to back out so that I can steal the close-in spot. 10 minutes, I'd have been in, gotten the cilantro, and gotten back out of there. Although I don't know if you know this, the attendant yesterday said that cilantro is a national recall. All right, head back in the game. So all I'm saying is park your car a little bit. Don't be like these 18 and 19-year-olds that go,
oh, I can't cover more than 50 yards to the front door. I'll just melt down.
Right? Park a little bit, walk in a little bit. We have, we call it, with my two youngest, we call it Dadaconda. And that's me grabbing them and hugging them like a snake. We call it, so they'll just be like screaming, going, Dadaconda, Dadaconda. Well, and with my youngest, Dadaconda works. With my oldest, we called it kicking the shell. My oldest son was a fan of Ninja Turtles. So we called it kicking the shell. But now it's Dadaconda. It's just a full-on wrestling match. Of course, I dig it because I'm getting a little bit, right? We're getting a little bit of that bonding chemical, and I'm doing I'm doing a chaser of endorphins because I'm moving around and I'm doing push-ups and sit-ups, and they're on my back or underneath me, and we're wrestling and we're carrying on. So I'm speedballing. I'm getting some endorphin thrown on top of there. Now, another drug that I'm a huge fan of, he has it in his list as number 5, the anti-anxiety molecule. It says it slows down the firing of neurons and creates a sense of calmness. Woo! It says here you can do it through yoga. You can do it through meditation, the relaxation response. All these people running around,
oh, I need a Valium. I need a Xanax.
Well, they work kind of in the same way as this GABA. And they actually work increasing the GABA without all the side effects. So all I'm suggesting is then go ahead, take in a deep breath, exhale, maybe even exhale your name. Let your body know who's in charge. Let your brain know who works for who. Scan your horizon, and then take action. You got yourself some GABA, another drug. So if you're going to be a pusher, a drug pusher, I like being a drug pusher that pushes these kind of drugs, including number 6, serotonin, the confidence molecule. Quote, serotonin plays so many different roles in our bodies that it's really tough to tag it. He calls it the confidence molecule. He says, quote, ultimately the link between higher serotonin and a lack of rejection sensitivity allows people to put themselves in situations that bolster self-esteem. I'm in. Give me a shot. Give me a line of serotonin. Little things that you and I can do. If we say, okay, let's have one 20-minute victory today. We'll do 20 minutes, 1/72 of our day to be our own biggest fan, to be our own best friend. We nail that 20-minute victory. We pull out our journal. We put out our logbook. Maybe it's the top 10. State your name. Raise your right hand. State your name. Blah, 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 blah. Not David Letterman's top 10 list, but your name, top 10 list. Top 10 things you're thankful for. Let's see if we can make it through just 2 days in a row. Do it today and then do it tomorrow. If you're already up, do it tomorrow and then do it the next day if you didn't do it today. Well, at the end of day 2, you got some serotonin. There's your self-esteem. There's your confidence muscle. You said you would do it, and you did. I'm all over it. Serotonin. Self-esteem. Self-esteemed. Being esteemed in who you already are. It's not other esteem. It's not what other people think about you. Thank you very much. Just got a text, someone listening saying, this is my 20-minute victory listening to you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Number 7 on his list, adrenaline, the energy molecule. Adrenaline, he says, is technically known as epinephrine. I didn't know that. Plays a large role in the fight or flight or freeze. Remember that? Fight, flight, or freeze? Adrenaline creates a huge surge in energy. Comes at times of stress or facing fearful situations. Makes you feel alive. Could be the antidote to boredom, he says, malaise or stagnation. Well, the nice thing about adrenaline, as we say all the time, you have to decide in that moment, do you work for you? Does your mind know the pecking order, the hierarchy, who's above whose pay grade? Because when you make certain that your mind knows that it works for you, you don't work for it, that's the beginning stages of saying to your natural resources, adrenaline being one of those chemicals when it jumps into your system, are you going to use those chemicals, or are you going to let those chemicals use you? And when you go, wait a minute, what do I got to be stressed about? There's no stress at my core. What do I got to be fearful about? There's no fear at my core. I'm properly aligned. I know of my all-natural being. Just got down off the rack. I've been aligned. Then what is there to be distressed about? What is there to be fearful about? What is there to be anxious about? And again, like the Buddha said, don't listen to me. What do I know? Try this on for size. 20 minutes. Be a drug addict like me. It doesn't come in a bottle. It comes from your brain. It's in you. You look at everybody running around. Everyone's depressed. Everyone's unhappy. Everyone's looking, right? We got some pharmaceutical answer. It doesn't come in pills. It comes in perspective. We want a lifestyle that's happy. We want balance, work and home balance. We want balance in all these things we do. Well, then let's be our own drug dealers. Let's be our own drug dealers. That's the nice thing about it. You don't have to hang out on a corner at 2 a.m. You don't have to meet in like a distant parking lot and exchange little baggies. Exchange your money. Let's be our own drug dealers. They're not the pills. It's the perspective that we take. That's what your brain does. That's a part of your natural resources. We'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Because it's never too late to take your life back.
All right, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself as someone writes this.
Okay, so Brian says we should be delusional, crazy drug dealers.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you for taking me in full context. I'm saying you should be a delusional, crazed drug dealer. It's just I would suggest that you might want to visit the pharmacy of your own mind, your foundational pharmacy. You want a prescription? Remember who you are. You're all natural being. Now, I can just imagine people saying, oh, well, who are you, a doctor? No, I'm not a shrink, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a therapist. Heaven help us all. I'm simply suggesting that when you become your own drug dealer, when you channel your own unique brand of craziness, when you become delusional in a self-supporting way, life becomes a smooth gig. Doesn't mean there aren't ups and downs, lefts, rights. That's what I dig about the labyrinth. That's what I dig. People say, well, let's talk about a sense of awe. Great, let's talk about a sense of awe. Let's talk about a sense of reverence. You want to distill awe all the way down? Awe comes when we're caught off guard. We're just blown away by the immensity of it all. Well, that's what I dig about the labyrinth, having the courage for around the corner. An around the corner that I can't see when it hits, and you find that piece of the puzzle fits together. That's all you have left is awe. You're like, can you freaking believe? Can you freaking believe that that just happened? That aligned perfectly? There's no way I saw that coming. Well, there's awe. That's not to say you can't have awe at a sunset, a sunrise, a mountain range. You can't have awe in a philosophical way, a spiritual way. But I promise you that within the labyrinth, when you are focused, when you're open to whatever the garden of the mortals is going to throw at you, when you're open to it, when you're aware that you can see those fingerprints of provenance and they start to fall together the way they naturally do, you got yourself some awe. Wait for those chemicals in your brain at that point. You'll feel them. So let me ask you before we get out of here, if you had to think today, top 10 things you're thankful for. Top 10 things. Some might be big, some might be small. All the reason for gratitude. And when we have that sense of gratitude, it's the grease of our minds. It's the way our wheels are supposed to be aligned. Law of manifestation. Oh, well, let me just wish. Let me just pray. Let me just beg. Let me just hope for that. No. And if you don't like that, oh, believe me, so much of me wants to go, well, tough. I'm asking you then, if you don't want to jump, if you don't want to rise up and believe me, do it for just 20 minutes. 20 minutes. No carrot at the end of the stick. Give the neurochemicals within your own mind a chance to prove to you that your all-natural being exists. 20 minutes to let the universe, the divine, however you define it, let the divine tell you that this is in fact correct. That's what I say all the time. Guaranteed. Right? People go, well, you got something to prove? Sure. I'm going to prove that you're a rock star. I'm going to prove that you're a rare breed, that you're a part of a kindred that isn't going to be a couch potato, that isn't going to let life, no matter what it throws at you, you're going to win the gold. Give me just 20 minutes. Like the Buddha says, don't take my word for it. What do I know? Take it for a test drive. You have your wheels aligned. You get it back and the car's still pulling to the left. I guess they didn't align the wheels all that great. Or now you get it back, it's pulling to the right. You go back in, you go, hey, the alignment didn't work. Well, that's our show. Every day, 5 days a week, all natural being. Blending ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience. No Pollyanna. Oh, nature loves you. Not the Mother Nature I've met. All right, it's time to get out of here. Thank you so much. It truly is an honor to be your tag team partner for a full hour. Make that list. Top 10 list. Top 10 things you're absolutely thrilled about in your life. Top 10 things you're thankful for. Write them down in your journal. Write them down in your logbook, your evidence blotter. Top 10 things. Now, in the beginning, you go, I got to number 8. Well, stick with it. Get to number 10. Because I promise you, if you get to number 10, you'll be going 12. You'll be going 15. You'll be texting me tomorrow going, I got to 27. I don't know what happened. I got the top 10. And it was like a flood. All right. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. All right, my friends, don't forget, allnaturalbeing.com. Send me an email. I'll send you one back. Remember, between now and the time we hang out tomorrow, just remember who you are. Nothing else to get. Everything you've ever needed, you've always had. That's why I'm a fan of being a kindred of yours. That's why I'm a fan of being a friend of yours. You got it going on. Truth be told, you got it going on. You want to hang out with people that get what life is about, and you do, and that's why it's an honor to be with you every day, Monday through Friday at least. All right, my friends, I love you. Got to get out of here. Talk to you tomorrow.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
All right, yeah, you know what? It dawns on me now. We're not live at 7 a.m. Eastern, so I got to re-record that. Maybe that should be a part of my 20-minute victories for the day. All right, get out of here. Get going on your top 10 list.
IPMNation.com.